All right, amigos, it's another episode of America's Hometown Horror that's yet again brought to you by Shine Through Window Cleaning. Shine Through Window Cleaning is a family-owned and operated company that proudly serves America's hometown and the surrounding area. They treat your home or business like they would treat their own, and they believe in truly building their reputation on every job they do. Get in touch with Shine Through today to discuss your window cleaning, gutter cleaning, and power washing needs at 781-812-9189. That's 781-812-9189. Or at shinethroughwindowcleaning.com. That's correct. Their new website, shinethroughwindowcleaning.com. That's Shine, T-H-R-U, window cleaning. Shine Through?
Shine Through.
Shine Through.
How do you do?
Window cleaning, folks.
It's official. The critics' decision is in.
Spooky World is spooktacular.
Enter the new black hole.
If you dare.
Or the new horror House of Wax. This year, don't miss the real Jason, Bobby Pickett, or Alice Cooper. Phone the 24-hour Spooky World hotline. 508-838-0200. That's 508-838-0200. Spooky World is just west of Boston and haunts every night from October 1st till November 1st. If you had the nerve, you'd phone 508-838-0200.
It's America's horror theme park, Spooky World.
What is up, amigos? How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody faring? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of America's Hometown Horror. My name is Mike. Miguel.
Who?
Michelle.
Nice to meet you.
Whatever you choose to
Miguel.
call me. Miguel.
I prefer Michael.
That happens quite a bit. Michael! But, as always, I am joined by my co-hosts, and I need to introduce them first. I'm joined by Andrew. How you doing, pal?
How you doing? I'm doing good. Doing
Excellent.
real good. Very excited to talk about this.
Experience.
Yes.
There you go. This
Thank
experience.
you for finishing my sentence
Yeah,
because
very-
I could not figure out what I was
Very
gonna say.
important episode tonight for us. Very important episode. So, Andrew, good to have you here. So, as always, here in Canada, we are joined once again by Mr. Craig Keller. So strong of beard, so strong of voice, so hot in the face.
Hello.
Craig Keller, thanks for coming back, sir. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Glad to be a part of the nonsense that up in Spooky World.
Of course, we had quite an experience.
away.
We had quite an experience
that a
on
bomb
Saturday
I was
night.
supposed
No.
to-
I mean, people see the episode title, they're gonna know.
Okay.
But I'm
You didn't
glad.
tell me. It was a surprise.
I'm glad not only that you were able to come with us to Spooky World this past Saturday, but also that you're wearing your Spooky World T-shirt.
I figured
that we
I'd
got.
represent.
Yes,
you know?
of course.
That was such a great
I
time.
did yell at Kat because
Represent.
I didn't want her to hold it because I was like, just throw it in the garbage because I'll never wear this shirt. And then look at me now.
Turns
Now
out
I
I'm
held
wearing
it
it.
through the
Throw it in
entire
the garbage
time.
and I'll wear it 2 days later.
Yeah.
I
How
held
about
it through
that?
everything and mini golf. It was a big undertaking. I held it
How
for like
about
4
that?
hours.
Yeah, you did hold them for a long time. That's, I guess, one of the disadvantages to carrying a bag around with you
Yes,
is that
and
you're
not
gonna
even a
have to
big
hold
bag.
stuff.
A
Yeah.
mediocre.
That's what's
Because
happening.
honestly,
when you're
like
a
if
vagabond.
we didn't
Yes.
have you, I
Vagabond.
probably would have tossed my T-shirt right in the trash.
No.
What am I going to do? Sling it over
100%.
my shoulder for
No,
an hour and a half, 2
I
hours?
like them though. It looks so
Fashionably
good
tie
on
it around
you.
your waist.
Wait, is there what's on the back?
I survived
Spooky World 2020.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's the coolest shirt I've ever had.
Yeah.
Well,
You gonna wear that out in public? Yeah. I'm not.
And then I get into my Subaru Forester with a sticker
my
that says, "This car climbs
With your
Mount
symmetrical
Washington
all-wheel drive, yeah.
with my stick family, and a go fuck yourself. I'm gonna kill everybody."
These are the type of
Yeah,
shirts
yeah.
that
Oh,
everyone
my
knows
God.
a friend that wears these out,
Yeah.
out in
Yeah.
public. Like it's a good PJ shirt, lounging around.
I'm probably gonna cut the sleeves off mine and wear it around in the summertime when
And then
I'm
maybe put
feeling
like
particularly
a
swole.
1 where the 0 is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a. I don't want to call anybody out, but he probably doesn't listen. Mike Lyons would wear that T-shirt.
Right,
probably.
Okay, fair enough. Well, Craig, thanks
You
again
were
for being
mentioned
here.
on the
I don't know
podcast.
who that is.
And of course, rounding on our hosts as always is Gato, Catherine. How are ya?
Bueno, you too?
E2,
Sexy.
bueno,
Sí,
bueno, grande.
bueno, yeah.
Oui,
Donde
sí,
está
sí,
biblioteca?
My goodness, I didn't mean to throw you a curveball there.
Una más cerveza, por favor.
Jeez,
Jeez.
Miguel, I figured you would know what she was
We haven't been to Mexico in quite a while, so my Spanish is a
It's
little
like
rusty.
2 years.
I know, it's a
I
little
mean,
rusty.
that's
Baxter,
fine.
you know I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, a little rusty. It's okay though. It's all right. But yeah, so we're here obviously to talk tonight. One of the things I think that we kind of forget about from time to time is when we had the initial idea for this podcast, we wanted to talk horror, all things horror. We wanted to talk movies, we wanted to talk TV, we wanted to talk books, we wanted to talk, whatever else pops up. Really non-discriminatory against anything. And when we launched in December, there's not really any horror attractions out there in December. And now we're getting into the season where there are those things. This is the first episode that we're going to actually cover a haunted attraction tonight.
The creepy season.
The creepy seasons. Haunt season.
Spooky.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for that. But obviously, before we jump into our full review of Spooky World, Nightmare New England, presented by Spooky World, I should say. We're going to go into a few other items, as we always do.
Oh, is this news?
No, not quite news yet, but
okay.
First I just want to go around the table and see if there's anything that anyone has watched over the last week that's been of note. Kat, I know we've kind of watched a lot of spooky stuff over the last week or so.
We started that show Ratched.
Yes.
It's on Netflix. It keeps popping up. Like, all of a sudden, you log into Netflix, and it's like, Ratched. And it's about Sarah Paulson, who is this nurse.
Nurse Ratched.
Yeah, so from
One Flew Over the
Nurse
Cuckoo's
Ratched
Nest.
from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Okay.
It's
There's
basically
a connection.
because
There it is.
everything has an origin story these days.
Right,
This is an
right,
origin
right.
story of Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That's made by Ryan Murphy, who does American Horror Story, starring his secret weapon, Sarah
I
Paulson.
saw that for the
Right.
first time like 4 years ago. I didn't realize how funny
It's a
that
phenomenal
is.
movie. It's great.
It's
I know it was
great.
running through Craig's head at that point. You were
it's a
going,
movie
is that
I-
like Savage? Shit's Ratched.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, the original?
No.
You should watch it.
I know.
It's a
will,
great
I
movie,
will.
and it's also on Netflix right now. But yeah, so we've been watching this Ratched show on Netflix.
It's great.
Shit's
I think it's
Ratched.
good.
Ratched.
No, but it's
Getting turned up.
kind of
Turned up.
gruesome.
It's
and
fun.
It's,
Yeah,
good,
it almost it's so I would say the vibe of it, and again, it's Ryan Murphy who does American Horror Story. It almost seems like to me like a lost season of American Horror Story.
It does a lot.
It's basically it takes place in an institution back in the 50s, where it's just insane to me. The
There
things
is
that they
no-
did to people in these mental
Lobotomies
institutions.
and all this.
That's
Frontal
exactly what it
lobotomies,
is, yeah.
electroshock therapy,
Right.
whatever the therapy's called, where they essentially boil you alive and then put you in a pool of
It's
freezing
crazy.
cold water,
Yeah.
like to cure lesbianism, and it's so
He's left-handed. Burn him.
fucked. Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously. So it's pretty good. It's very pulpy, kind of trashy, typical American Horror Story type storytelling. But I like it so far. We're about halfway through.
I like it so far too.
Yeah.
I would recommend watching it. I mean, so
Yeah.
far,
Yeah.
for as much as we've watched, it's like 4 episodes out of 8, maybe.
Yeah, I would recommend checking it out. It's not
But-
necessarily horror, but it's definitely, because we were talking about this last night. It's definitely not horror, but it's close. It's
I think
horror
it's pretty
adjacent.
goddamn close to horror
Yeah.
because I mean, you see him like sawing off his limbs. So if you're watching something where you're
Who's he,
seeing,
for
they
sure.
show a lobotomy too.
Yeah, they show basically somebody ice
They
picking into
show
someone's eye
a
and
lot.
like pounding through the fucking brain cavity
But
and scraping out your brain.
But Mike
Nice.
doesn't
Which is
think
a
it's
thing
horror,
that happened.
though.
That's a thing that
But-
happened back in the day.
I think it's horror.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
that's
think
me. But
Yeah, so we've been watching Ratched, and then a couple other movies that we watched recently, and then I'll go to you guys. But we rewatched recently, just because I bought some fucking stupid Headless Horseman figure. We were out the other day, and I bought
At
it like
Home
the
Goods? At
Home Goods.
goods.
You don't
He's
advertise
holding
first, don't
he's holding the jack-o'-lantern head, and it lights up. It was so cool, so I
It's
bought
cool.
it.
It's in our living room.
So we actually rewatched the Johnny Depp Sleepy Hollow movie. Have you guys seen that?
Not since it came out.
with Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a
It's
good movie.
very
It's
good.
good. I
Very
liked
good.
it.
Good
Good.
movie.
It's a good seasonal scary movie.
Yeah.
I feel like.
It's good.
He doesn't
It's
really
definitely
nice
got the
Vibe to
weird.
it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's got the weird Tim Burton touch on it, like Christopher Walken as the Headless Horseman with
I
like the
love him as
the
a
sharp
horseman.
teeth, and
Yeah.
it's fucking real weird. It's definitely strange, but we
And
watched
Christina
that.
Ricci, mwah.
Really?
Big eyes, big breasts, about 5 feet tall.
I didn't know if you were going to pivot away from breasts there.
I was
if you were
trying
gonna say.
to, and then I decided not to.
That's
Because,
okay.
I mean, I might as well be honest.
I mean, you might as well be true to who you are, because that's what you were thinking the whole
why
time.
would
I was
big
wondering what you were going to say.
boobs you have?
Yabos.
But I think of the most note, so last night we rewatched, I think probably for the first time in probably almost 10 years, we rewatched The Blair Witch Project, which... that movie, so we were talking about this before. I saw The Blair Witch Project. It was, I think, probably the first or second R-rated movie I saw in theaters. My dad took me to go see it. We went to go see it at the Randolph Movie Theater, the Showcase Cinemas in Randolph, right off exit 24.
Yep.
And we saw it, and I remember I was terrified. I was 13, probably when it came out, 12 or 13. And my dad was, I remember driving home, my dad was like, holy shit, that was a fucking scary movie. And my dad fucked with me the entire night after that. He was like, we woke up the next morning, he was like, hey, Mike, I locked the door last night when we came in, and the door was unlocked and open this morning when we get up. And he just was fucking with me and trying to freak me out. And
he did.
This movie, he totally did. He totally did it. But, like, we watched this movie again the other night, and I was, like, afraid. I was afraid to let Otis out. I would, like, grab a flashlight out on the porch. I was like, Otis, don't wander too far. I want to be able to see you. I don't want the Blair Witch to get you. But... oh my god, that movie, I can see why it was a phenomenon back in the day. It still holds up very well. It's very scary. You just have to have a little bit of imagination, obviously, because it's not the type of thing where it reveals all the scares to you.
Right.
I know you kind of hold a different opinion about this movie.
No, I like this movie just fine. I mean, it is what it is. It's a found footage film, and it's
like the
wacky
first one.
and
arguably,
the first one.
it's.
That's
I would say
what
this
we're
is
talking about.
the pinnacle of found footage horror. I think there's nothing better.
It's scary, but at the same time, you're kind of like, okay, so how much do they really film, and how much of this is like fake? How much do they put out? Like the little I don't. It's found footage horror, but it's still a movie.
I forget,
like it's not
is it
some
actually
sort of...
based off of any true events?
No,
it's
no.
not.
It
No.
takes
So
place
I
in the
think
Pine
there actually
Barrens, right?
there is a legend of a Blair Witch or in the Maryland area, but it was never anything as big and serious as what actually was portrayed in the movie.
right.
This is in Maryland? I thought it was in the Pine Barrens.
It's supposed to take place in Burkittsville, Maryland.
I'm such an idiot. Anything with like actual fake, like actual news.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 3 college students were missing
Right.
for a manhunt. I'm like, oh my god, it's real! It's
Yeah.
real!
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like when you first saw the fourth
yeah.
kind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, and that was also that was kind of the genius of the movie too. It was marketed back in 1999 before the internet was a huge thing. As a true story, that like this was actual found footage from these college students that disappeared, which was the first movie to kind of do that.
at the library.
But like without Blair Witch, there's no Creep, there's no Cloverfield,
Not the first movie to do it.
there's no As
UHF.
Above, So Below.
The Last Broadcast.
I was to say Cannibal Holocaust was kind of a found footage movie too. But
This
like,
one kind of brought on. The Last Broadcast isn't nearly as good as Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Shadow people.
But that takes place in the Pine Barrens. That's what I was thinking about. And it's
about the Jersey Devil.
Jersey Devil.
Yeah,
And
okay.
that was pretty scary.
Yeah,
But it was also pretty terrible. The Blair Witch Project killed it. I think that came out like 2 years before. It's like my phantasm to Nightmare on Elm Street.
okay, fair enough.
I watched Phantasm the other night, by the way.
Good for you.
Oh, good
Again.
for you, man.
Again.
How many times is that?
I don't know.
A dozen,
Too many?
couple dozen.
Yeah, wicked.
Gets
like
better
way too
every
many.
time.
After one is too many.
But yeah, for us, Ratchet, Blair Witch Project, and Sleepy Hollow, all worth watching, I would say. You guys watch anything spooky at all over the last week or so since we last recorded?
The creepiest thing I watched was the South Park Human Centipede. So
Human Sent iPad?
Sent iPad. Yeah.
Oh, a
yeah.
Kairu!
Yeah. Yeah. No scary movies. How about you, Andrew?
I watched half of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and it was very good.
It's a good movie.
But then I was like, I'm going to bed, so
But you
I
should
need to
watch the
finish
other
it.
half.
I
That's
should.
the type of movie, like, if we had been doing
It's
the
a good
podcast
movie.
when it came out, I would have liked to
That
have
would've
covered
been
that.
great.
It was good. They did a good job capturing the feel of the books.
It was very,
Visuals were scary.
very creepy.
Yeah.
Did you
It
read
kind
that
of,
book?
it kind of gave me an It vibe to it,
Yeah.
but not really. Like when the kid's turning into the scarecrow and the straw's coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
That was gross. It
Yeah.
was awesome.
Very, very gross.
I liked it. 100%.
Very gross. Yeah, but yeah, I would say the scary stories to tell in the dark.
Difficult
I would
to
say.
say.
Check it out. It is. Yeah, it's a little bit of a tongue twister.
As they would say.
Hey, say Irish wristwatch
Irish
5 times
wristwatch.
fast.
Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch.
Oh, I suck at that one. So
I'm not
Irish
doing that
wristwatch,
one.
Irish wristwatch, Irish wristwatch, Irish wristwatch, Irish wristwatch.
that's pretty good.
That's why I wanted to say
The
it.
one,
Oh, did you practice that?
No, I
Yeah.
did not. No.
one my family always said was good blood, bad blood.
Good blood, bad blood. Good. Yeah, can't even do it twice.
There we go. There we go.
Hey, so before we jump into our full review of Spooky World tonight, just a couple of quick news items to run through. And obviously,
Of
there's
course.
there's not really a lot to go through in the news. I just wanted to kind of, since this is our last episode, our fifth episode of our countdown to Halloween, our last September episode.
There's just so much news.
And
I
with
just
it being our last September episode, I feel the need to.
Say
you
September.
remember?
Yeah, the very first night in September. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you guys did it for me, so I don't need to.
Oh, you're not gonna do it.
Oh, Andrew's all butthurt.
No, no. I wanted to see if anyone picked up on it. And you guys did.
Here's a test.
Of course.
Who sings that song?
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, you blew it! I wanted to.
He would have never got it.
Oh no, I would have. No, I would have got it.
I don't
It was.
believe so.
I would have.
Oh,
Sometimes I need to
screw
sing.
me.
I've been up since 5:30. Leave me alone. Brain,
So,
I can't see out of my left eye.
I kind of just wanted to run
having
through
trouble.
some of the stuff as we move into October that's going to be available on streaming services that you may or may not have. So obviously the first one up, Netflix is the most popular streaming service, and Netflix rebrands themselves in October as Netflix and Chills. Those cheeky bastards.
no, sir. So they're gonna be Netflix, not
Netflix
just
and
Netflix,
chills.
but Netflix.
I may
and
cancel
chills.
my
Yes.
Netflix account
Yes,
now
yes,
because
yes.
of that.
That's wait. Are you serious?
No, so they don't.
They're rebranding.
No. But they call their October release schedule Netflix and Chills.
It's a gimmicky.
Yeah, it's a gimmicky thing.
Instead of mailing you
Not- so
CDs,
they're
they're
not-
going to mail out condoms.
So they're
now.
not
Yes, exactly.
rebranding.
No.
All right. I think you might have said rebranding.
well, if
and
I did-
was a little bit concerned.
Don't worry.
If I did, I
I'm
misspoke.
following my
Rebranding for
Okay.
1 month.
So coming to the three
That's
biggest
fair.
things coming to Netflix in October. The first one we talked about, which is a Happy Madison release.
Yes.
Craig, I don't think you were here for this one, but essentially it's called Hubie Halloween, and it is a Halloween-themed movie starring Adam Sandler and his usual entourage of actors that are past their prime, including Kevin James, Rob Schneider,
Nice.
Maya Rudolph, a bunch of other people, where basically it's kind of like he's playing the character from The Waterboy, except he's obsessed with Halloween, and it takes place in Salem. So, and Shaq's in it. So,
It's kind of a must-see. Though.
yeah, a pretty cool movie that we've talked about that
Well,
I definitely
Shaq's
want to watch.
essentially like the real-life water boy.
Oh, yeah. I'm the
Hopefully he doesn't hear
water
that
boy.
and beat me up.
He's gonna come down to Plymouth and kick your
Is
ass.
Steve Buscemi in it?
He is in it. Yes, he is.
Oh, I love him.
Yes, he is.
In
He's
a weird
that.
way.
Yep.
He's
Yeah,
the
so-
best in, what is it, Mr. Deeds?
Yes.
Mr. Deeds,
With the
yeah.
eyes.
So,
Crazy eyes.
Hubie Halloween will be out on October 7th. Arguably the biggest release that Netflix has coming out in October is The Haunting of Blime Manor, which is Season 2 of The Haunting Anthology, which is directed by Mike Flanagan, who we've talked about on our Dr. Sleep episodes. He's done a bunch of great movies. There's a new trailer that came out this past week, and that debuts on October 9th, so that's also out there. And finally, rounding out the big things on Netflix. There's a bunch of other stuff, but we're just covering some of the highlights. Unsolved Mysteries, Volume 2, out October 19th. Shout out to one Angela Lansbury, Catherine.
Oh my gosh, Angela Lansbury is coming out with another
Yes,
Unsolved
another
Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries season, exactly. So
Maybe
we'll
they'll
get,
fix it and make it good.
we'll get more Unsolved Mysteries on October
I liked
19th.
the first one. Oh, October 19th. That's not too far away. I liked the series.
I'll be
I'll be
1 year older at that point
With-
when we watch that.
Angela Lansbury in them.
Angela Lansbury.
Shout out to one of our subscribers, Katie
Yeah.
Runcie. It's her birthday today.
Hey, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Katie.
Happy birthday, Katie.
I don't know if she actually listens anymore, but
Well,
She
you'll
might,
send
who
her this
knows?
episode maybe just as a special gift.
Since we're talking about streaming service stuff, one quick note, something that's coming to Shudder, which you can get on Amazon Prime, or you can subscribe through the app. Andrew, we've both watched at various points the Creepshow TV series that came out last year. There's a new season in the works, but there's also a Creepshow Halloween animated special that's coming exclusively to Shudder towards the end of the month, I believe. It's based on 2 different stories, one by Stephen King, another
Big
one
surprise.
by his son, Joe Hill. The segment that's based on the King story is called Survivor Type, which is a short story that he wrote way back in the 80s, and it's probably one of his most gruesome and dark stories. This is essentially a story about a doctor that is on a plane smuggling a bunch of heroin. He crash lands on an island by himself. He's the sole survivor, and he runs out of food. So in order to survive, he starts amputating his own limbs, eating them, and using the heroin that also crash landed as morphine to basically cut off his arm. And he eats his arm, and eventually he gets to a point where he cuts off all his limbs, and she's just like, fucking sitting there. So it's a
Jesus
crazy fucking gruesome
that sounds
story.
like my average weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Creepshow animated special based on a couple different things coming to Shudder in October.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Last particular one that we have, Halloween, which is on Hulu. Ooh, see what they did there? I see.
So exciting.
More like
So
voodoo.
I see what they did there. So lots of stuff coming to Hulu as well. A couple of different anthology movies and TV shows. One's called Monsterland. It's an anthology series which is based on a book by Nathan Ballingrud. That premieres on October 2nd. Books of Blood, which is an anthology movie based on the works of Clive Barker, who directed and wrote
I will be watching that.
Hellraiser, Candyman,
Nightbreed.
among
In business, things move quickly. You have to be ready to shift, pivot, adapt, then do it all over again. Comcast Business gives you fast, reliable internet on the nation's largest gig speed network. And now, ask how to get fast shipping with Amazon Business Prime Essentials. Whoa, that was fast. So no matter what comes next, you can do more than bounce back. You can bounce forward. Offer ends 11/15/20. Restrictions apply. Requires qualifying Comcast Business service. New Amazon Business Prime Essential members only.
Command to truck. We need to vent that roof.
Roger that. Come on, get that saw up here. On this job, we keep our equipment starting fast and running strong with True Fuel. We can't risk engine failure from the ethanol corrosion and separation you get from gas station gas. And at home, I trust ready-to-use True Fuel in my trimmer and leaf blower, so I don't have to mix oil and gas myself.
For pro performance and everyday convenience, trust True Fuel. Available at your local lawn and garden dealer.
various other things, the Midnight Meat Train, Rawhead Rex, all those stories are
You like Midnight Meat Train.
I think it's Bradley Cooper's best movie.
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot Bradley Cooper was in Midnight Meat Train.
You should watch it.
That's an underrated movie.
It is. It's good. It's got it's Vinnie Jones and Bradley Cooper. Yeah, it's a good movie. But perhaps the most interesting thing that is coming to Hulu. So obviously this year with COVID, and we'll get more into this as we talk about the attraction we experienced last Saturday. Hulu is doing their first ever online haunted immersive experience called the Screamlands.
Interesting.
So beginning Thursday, October 8th, visitors that are 18 years or older can travel through this immersive 360-degree online experience that features 5 scream-inducing rooms like quote-unquote Bad Hair Hellway and quote-unquote Halloween Hall, which includes spooky surprises behind every turn.
So
Hulu is not only have movies and TV shows, but an interactive haunted house that you can watch through the app. Kind of a cool thing.
How does that work? You need obviously a virtual
reality
I
don't know if you need
headset.
I don't know if you need a VR headset or not, but apparently they're saying like if you just have normal Hulu, you'll still be able to experience this, which is
and you'll
cool.
be not scared because it's on
Everything
your
needs to be
TV,
PC
and you
right
know
now.
you're going to get
Yeah.
scared. No, not because of that, because that's not scary.
Right.
Who's going to get scared by that?
No
Yeah.
one.
Fuck Hulu. That's the stupidest thing ever. I hate Hulu
it could
anyway.
at least be an interesting experience
but-
without being scary.
No, I know.
It could still be cool.
I give him props for attempting to do something. I just don't.
sure.
I don't like Hulu.
Yeah. No, I know. I know you've said that before. It's definitely
Have I?
inferior to Netflix for sure, but Hulu does at least take their horror content pretty seriously. So, last news item before we kind of move on to our topic of Craig. I said this to you the other day as a fan of this game. I feel like this is of note to anyone that's played the game, any horror fan. There are rumors out there that Red Dead Redemption 2 is getting an Undead Nightmare update for Halloween. A zombie-themed Halloween update for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So if you've never played the first Red Dead Redemption, they had a DLC called Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, where the whole thing was zombies, which was fucking awesome. It was great. It was so much fun. And they're thinking about doing a sequel to that for the new Red Dead game that came out a year ago, 2 years ago. Jesus, 2 years ago already.
Is that similar to like Call of Duty zombies?
Similar, I would say. Greg, did you what are your thoughts on this?
I never played the original. Obviously, I played the regular gameplay. And, I didn't after. I mean, spoiler alert, but after John Marsden goes,
This game's that old at this point.
Had
You
an
can drop
emotional
spoilers.
breakdown, and I didn't try the DLC.
I was very bummed when John Marsden died. And I remember
I can get them all.
I remember us bonding about this because like you thought you couldn't love a character more than John Marsden until you met Arthur Morgan, and then all of a sudden it's like
Was he perhaps played by James Marsden?
unfortunately not. No.
For some reason, I thought that's what you were talking about. That's like the
Andrew
studly-looking guy.
doesn't
Yeah,
know.
the guy
Andrew
he
doesn't know
does.
about it.
He's in Westworld. He played
Yeah.
Cyclops in like the
Yep.
original X-Men movies. Yeah, James Marsden's been in a good
I've
bunch,
played
but-
Red Dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an awesome game.
I play it the same way you
Not-
play Grand Theft Auto.
Exactly. So it's like Grand Theft Auto, but an older Western.
Well, it's made by Rockstar,
and then
right?
they give it a horror element in this downloadable content, which could be fucking awesome. So, I mean, yeah, quick hit news items, guys. Not a whole lot to report on in depth. So, anyone else have anything before we jump into our topic du jour?
I don't think so.
Okay, me neither. Let's rock and roll. All right, you guys. So as I mentioned, we are on to our topic of the evening.
Did you see the Broncos had
all the South Park people?
South Park
yeah, it was
people
so
in the
awesome. What a great call.
That's tomorrow night, right?
I know.
Yeah,
the COVID
night.
special. I'm excited to see
I feel
their
like
take
I
on
haven't
it.
been so excited for TV in so long. Like,
And then they're going to
there
have to do a
hasn't been
presidential
anything
debate one,
that,
too.
like,
Oh, I'm sure
Which
they
will
will.
be amazing.
I'm sure they
besides
will.
like the Super Bowl.
Well, the beauty
I
of South
haven't
Park is they write everything within like 6 days,
Yeah.
so they basically have to. So
But
everything's topical.
I haven't been as excited for a TV event since like the Super Bowl of last year.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited.
Like they're like, South Park's gonna be on Wednesday. It's like
Yeah.
I need to watch it live to make sure I can talk about it the next day. Like,
Yeah, I'm excited for that, but I'm also I'm very excited to talk about our topic tonight because, as I mentioned before, so kind of when we thought of the idea for this show, we were like, okay, we're gonna basically talk about horror movies, TV, books, whatever else, paranormal stuff if it comes up. But one of the things that I felt was kind of lacking, especially in this area, was coverage of local haunted attractions. I thought that was something that we could cover because I like them. We all like them. I thought it was something we could go to and cover. And we did just that this past weekend. So, as of this recording, last Saturday, we got to go to Spooky World presents Nightmare New England up in Litchfield, New Hampshire, which basically is one of the most well-known haunted attractions in the entire country. And I kind of posted about this on Instagram and Facebook the day that we went up there, but I've been going to this attraction particularly since the mid-'90s when it started. It started in 1991 when it was in Berlin, Massachusetts, which is way out there west of Worcester. So it was a hike. I was probably about 7 or 8 when I first went. I went with my uncle. He took me once. I had a blast. I was scared shitless. And I had so much fun, though, that he decided to kind of take me year after year. So I went when it was out there. And, this place in particular, just the way they celebrated Halloween, the attractions they had, kind of helped me fall in love with horror. I would say this is probably one of the biggest things for me that made me kind of love horror and influenced me to where I am today. Particularly haunted attractions, right? So I remember it specifically. I remember the OG hayride that was out there.
OG.
It was one of the first hayrides in the country, the haunted hayride.
What's it called, the OG hayride?
No, I'm just saying OG for our purposes, but make fun of me.
I prefer the AG.
Yeah.
It's the Attorney General hayride.
The other attractions I remember, there were 2 of them. One was called the Phantom Mineshaft. The other one was called Cirque Macabre, as Vincent Price would say.
Is that like suck on my dick?
Yeah, pretty much. They also had an American Horror Museum, which had, it was almost kind of like a thing that's up in Salem, like Count Orlok's Nightmare Gallery.
Sure.
That would be
Horror
cool.
Movie Museum. They had
like
that
that
there. And they hosted a bunch of celebrities there back in the day that were huge in the horror community. So Kane Hodder, who played Jason Voorhees in all the Friday the 13th movies. I met him there back in the early 90s. I actually, at somewhere in my parents' house, have a signed hockey mask by Kane Hodder, the guy who played Jason.
That's awesome.
We actually met the same guy
We did.
in Salem about
We
3 or
did.
4 years
Why
ago.
isn't that hanging?
I don't know where it is. I gotta find it.
I have
Yeah.
a picture of me and Mike with Jason
We do.
Voorhees.
Yeah, we
Yes.
do.
We do. We have a picture
Is he,
together.
was
Yeah.
he
He
absolutely
was
ripped?
not in the mask.
He's still pretty ripped, but he's looking a little
I
aged.
actually probably
Looks like he had a
have.
few
Yeah, I
Bud
can find
Lights.
it. Yeah, for sure.
I'll find
But
it.
yeah, Kane
We
Hodder
should
was
post
there.
it on our-
Tom Savini, who's arguably the most influential horror makeup and special effects guy in the history of the industry. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, with her huge boobs. She was there from time to time.
Great tits.
Linda Blair, who played Reagan in The Exorcist.
She was floating off in the
She was there.
background. Yeah.
And they also had Bobby Boris Pickett, the author and singer of the Monster Mash.
That's the guy that played Jason Voorhees.
They did the mash.
What a
They
gem.
did
Just like he would, that guy came up with that
the
stupid
Monster
song.
Mash.
He's
You're gonna
been
send that
singing
to me so I can
song for
post
like
it.
30
I will
years.
send that to you so
Megan,
you can
how
post
much
it.
money do you think he makes a year off that stupid song?
Honestly,
7 cents.
so much money. I'm sure so much. How many times do you think the Monster Mash gets played every Halloween season? And he must get
A
royalties
billion
off that.
times.
Yeah,
Probably
that's
as
what I'm
much
saying.
as Dominic the Donkey gets played in Christmas.
Yeah, probably.
Dominic the
Yeah.
donkey,
Yeah.
clickety claw.
Yeah, for sure.
Better
They
than
did the
Ho.
mash. They did the Monster Mash. But, just to kind of finish that thought, I know I'm being
I know,
long-winded
we
here.
are way...
Wonderful Christmas.
So if you're interested in seeing what this
Christmas.
looked like back in the day, back when I'm talking about, there are some pretty cool videos on YouTube. There's an early promotional video that they put out in the early 90s that had, it was on VHS, and they had highlights of the hayride that was narrated by Kane Hodder, so you can see what the hayride actually was like back in the early 90s. There's also cool videos now with like drones and urban explorers that have gone over there and walked through with cameras to see what it looks like, because it was condemned in 1997, I believe. So yeah, there's still some stuff up there from when the attraction first started back in Berlin, which is pretty cool to see. I guess, before we kind of get into details and everything, like, did you guys, like, what did you think? Did you have a good time? Did you have a bad time? What did you think?
It was my first time, so I had no reference point for it, but you could see the potential there for it. It was kind of sad to see just how hard 2020
has sucked.
Sucked. It sucked kind of the soul out of the whole experience.
Yeah. In which I have similar thoughts. I'm sure we'll get into that in more detail, but I agree.
Right. So that was kind of it. But for what they had budget-wise, I mean, it was still entertaining. It wasn't a waste of time.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Okay.
I had fun time.
Yeah.
Beating your guy's ass at Putt-Putt 2 and Putt-Putt Champion of the World!
Right? Well, you and I got the only hole-in-ones the entire night.
Well, I was going to say, honestly, I think sorry to speak out of turn. I think my favorite part was the drive up playing the alphabet game, and putt-putt was like, those are my favorite parts of the entire night.
I forgot about the alphabet game. We can get into that for sure.
Shocking how the two worst golfers won at fucking.
What did
wow! Throwing fucking darts.
Yeah,
Does that mean you're considering me a good golfer?
That means you're saying
Better
she's a
than
better
him.
golfer.
I don't know if
than
you're
Oh
me.
my
better than him.
goodness! You.
I've never golfed with her, so I can't say. But I know how bad Craig is.
This isn't.
I just thought that was such a compliment to me.
Golf.
You're an asshole.
It's putt-putt.
Oh, that makes me
It's
so
putt-putt.
sad.
I know. I'm just.
I'm a good golfer.
If I lose at something, I have to make fun of you about
We should
something
play.
else.
We've never played golf together.
Your big nose.
We should
I
change
played
that.
with Craig before. I've played with Craig, but I haven't played with you. Did I beat you? How did we do? I don't even remember. It was on my birthday.
I think
How do you do?
We all gave up. After
Yeah,
I know I didn't
there's
come in
somebody
last
else
place
who's
last
like,
time I
"Okay,
played with
well."
Craig.
Village Links. Off topic.
That doesn't count.
So, Kat, you've been to Spooky World numerous times with me
Yes.
before. What did you think of it this year, without getting into too much detail, because we're going to cover it in more detail later?
It
Overall
was
thoughts.
a much different experience than most years. You didn't have the freedom to really walk around the park, which was kind of hard. And I feel like it was tough for them because, that they're probably having a tough year selling a limited amount of tickets and only hiring like a quarter of the amount of staff because of their budgets and stuff. Like, their budgets are way down from like last year. So it reflects on it, which sucks because like last year compared to this year was like a completely, like, I wish you guys could have won with us last year because it was a much different experience.
We'll be there next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully
And
next
the year after.
Right.
Will that be the 40th anniversary?
Maybe.
We're doing a spooky.
When did that come out?
Yes.
91?
91.
So that'd be 40 years.
Wow, that's correct. Holy shit.
I was
40
like-
years of Spooky World.
That's insane.
That is crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. It's one of those things this year that if I had to make the recommendation, I'd probably wait because it's not not
feel
worth the money
terrible
right now.
though because
I don't
want
to disparage anybody that works there or anything like that, but it just the way COVID has impacted shit.
Give me time out real quick.
Okay.
It is not 40 years.
No.
No, it's 30.
I'm not good at math. I was just
No,
going on your math.
I just
I
had
knew
to
that
go based
too,
off of
but
that
I
because
was
I was
like,
like,
I'm just gonna
because I was
let
like,
it
wait
go.
a minute, Mike has been to
Yeah.
one. He's not 40
not
years
40.
old.
I'm like,
Wait a minute. That
1991.
doesn't make any sense. That was like
No,
when
it's
I
not
said it was the
40 years.
25th anniversary of Jaws.
Yeah.
Well, because
Like, wait a minute, 45 years.
1991 to
Dirt.
now, I'm not 40 and I was born before.
No.
Andrew, as a first timer, what did you think before we kind of get into detail?
Well, when
Overall.
I first popped my cherry, I actually had a blast.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't get... That
Gross.
stuff doesn't scare me
Of course.
because I'm not
Nothing
a
scares you.
small girl or cat. And
Some things were a little scary.
Also, I will say, the actors, if you would call them, they left a little bit to be desired.
Yeah.
First off, there were way better hiding spots where I can show them where to hide. It'd be perfect.
I honestly,
right?
I agree with you there because I think that was probably one of the biggest failings is that I feel like they could have done way more to try and scare us.
No, it was basically they came up and went boo.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't go boo. Not that they said
Right.
boo, but
Boo.
All right. Okay.
But
All right.
other than that, entertainment-wise, I had fun. The hayride would have been better without the dividers
Yeah.
because of stupid COVID, because I couldn't
Yeah.
see any of the stuff
I
happening on the
know.
other side. All the haunted, what do you call them? Houses?
Houses.
Even though some are
Houses.
outside.
Yeah, attractions.
Haunted attractions.
Sure.
Those were all great. I thought I had...
I like
Just because I'm not scared of something doesn't mean I'm not enjoying it. Like, I enjoy hearing people behind you go screaming, and it's like, oh, that's fine.
Well, I don't really feel like I heard much of that when we were walking around.
Cat
you?
did it like barely once. There was someone
the-
that
on the-
made
on
a
the
couple
hayride.
times.
And that
Not
was
even
it.
on the hayride. No, in one of the houses, I heard some high-pitched girl scream, and I started laughing because it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I would say I actually really like, which Mike knew from last year, the last house that's all like 3D neon lights. I actually take off my glasses sometimes and I just look at all the drawings because I like all of the drawings on the walls, and I'm just like, it's like graffiti, but it's so cool. And then when
Yeah, it
you
was
have it
done
with
well.
the contrasting colors, it makes it look like it's 3D, and it's like the glow in the dark thing, and it's awesome. So I'll
It's
be
like the
like,
black
I'll look
lights in the
around and I'll
basement,
just kind of
yeah.
like take a peek without my glasses and be like, this
is
is
cool.
drawn really
Yeah.
well. I was like, this
Yeah.
is really cool.
You can appreciate the craftsmanship that goes into
Yeah.
this event every year, I think, regardless of whether it's the artwork, the set design, the makeup. I mean, it's a huge undertaking. It's a huge undertaking.
The
But
only
I just
thing-
feel like they had one hand tied behind their back this
They
year.
had about 5 hands tied behind
Yeah,
their back.
I know.
Because
yeah.
I don't even want to talk about budget, but you have all those protocols set up and have all that additional staff on, and have
Right.
half of the amount of people that are going to come. No matter what your budget is,
They're also
you
in a
don't.
different state, though. You have to think about that.
Yeah,
They have
New
different-
Hampshire's a little bit more relaxed than Mass.
They have a different.
Which is great.
Didn't seem any more relaxed. We were playing putt-putt, and the guy yelled at me because I didn't have my mask on. No one was even close
It's so
to me.
funny because I feel like my coworker also went to Spooky World like an hour after his time was like an hour or two after ours, and he said that like no one was wearing masks anywhere, and I was like,
Wow.
Well, I mean, when we were there, like people were wearing masks, and like people were actually saying like, put your mask on when we were
yeah.
playing putt-putt, but I was like, at the same time, if people had their masks down at putt-putt, you're so far away
Yeah,
from
yeah,
everybody.
and
You
that
should
was
be
kind
allowed
of
to.
like
Wouldn't
I
be-
understand.
That
Yeah,
didn't really make
Yeah.
sense. But in the line, like people were very close to each other. I felt like
Yeah.
there wasn't any sort of like.
but everyone had masks on
space.
the
Everyone
entire
had
time.
masks
Yeah.
on. Fine,
Which I
yeah.
do, because I know there are probably people out there that may listen to this and are interested in going, and they want to make sure that it's safe. So I do have a
100%.
section
I
where
thought
we
it was
cover
safe.
it.
They
It
were
was
making
definitely
us have
safe.
Masks
Yeah.
on the whole time.
No,
Yeah,
I
for
thought
sure.
it
They
was.
were right
I thought
on
it was
you.
safe the entire time.
Yeah.
I never felt like a time that I didn't feel safe when I went there. I thought it was very well done. A lot of the characters and stuff had masks on. No one really went up to you because, like, the girl who went and introduced you into the manor, that was like the guide or whatever. She had a mask on. Like, there were actual characters who like introduced
Well,
you into.
I guarantee you, too, the people that were wearing actual, like, horror masks, they probably had surgical masks on underneath.
Yeah.
I feel like that woman was also dressed as a nurse, so it fit.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
I don't think she was.
It was Nurse
But-
Ratchet.
Well-
Shit's Ratchet.
Okay.
So we can get into all these
Could've
in a
been.
little bit more detail, but I kind of just want to run through the experience because I want to like put this up as
Sure.
if someone wants to go to this event, what they can expect, right?
Of course.
So
Without
what
giving-
I will say is, even though it was limited capacity in quotation marks right now, it was fucking jammed. There were a million
so
fucking
jammed.
people there. Yeah. It was
But
opening
they made
weekend.
it. They made
was
it feel
opening
like
weekend.
there wasn't, though.
Yeah.
Which I will say that's probably to their advantage is the fact that the lines weren't backed up all the way.
Agreed.
Which was nice. You had space. You weren't like a sardine. Now, would I prefer to be jammed in a sardine and be able to see both sides on the hayride? Yes.
Yeah.
But I'll take that. I kind of like my space,
Agreed.
and I'm going to
Agreed.
enjoy it anyway.
Are we giving away spoilers right now?
No.
or
So we're gonna go through each attraction. So I'll run you.
Okay.
I'll run you through some stuff. Okay.
So
But-
don't spoil.
Not yet. So, just a couple of quick facts about Spooky World, okay? Because I was for nerds like me, okay? People that love this attraction are fond of this event.
Go ahead, Michael.
So, Spooky World opened in Berlin, Massachusetts, back in 1991, like I mentioned. Kind of.
I thought he meant Berlin, Germany. When
No,
you said
not
that.
Berlin, Germany. not
No, I
Berlin,
literally thought
Germany.
when you first said it, I'm like, wow, that started in Germany?
So it remained on a big farm in Berlin, Mass, from 91 until 98 when it moved to Gillette Stadium, and it was out behind the old Foxborough Stadium.
I went to it then.
Where it remained until 2005, and after that they kind of had a tough time finding a new home. So they bounced around a few times. They were at the Bayside Exposition Center for a while in Boston, and then after that they were at Canopy Lake Park.
Canopy Lake Park.
Yeah. And then in 2009, so 11 years ago, they found their new home in Litchfield, New Hampshire, which is where they've been since, and which is where we visited these attractions, directly behind a place called Mel's Funway Park, which has bumper boats, go-karts, batting cages, mini golf, laser tag, zombie paintball, or that might be a Spooky World thing, I'm not sure. But yeah, so it's in its new location now in Litchfield, New Hampshire. And so yeah, I think the only thing left to do now is just to run you guys through what our experience was. So
so there was no bumper boats actually available, but I loved bumper boats when they were at Starland.
Agreed.
That was like one of my favorite rides ever.
Shout out to Starland in fucking Hanover. Oh my god.
No, do you ever go to the bumper boats on it?
We all know what bumper boats are.
Did you? But did you?
Yes,
No.
yes, I have.
Did you?
In Starland in Hanover?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bumper
I used to
boats?
work at the Hanover
One
Verizon
second,
store. I
though.
went there a lot.
I just want to clarify something. Did you?
I did.
Okay. Just making sure. You only asked him 12 times.
All right.
So,
Fair enough.
All right, so we left. So
everyone loves bumper boats.
not really, but that's fine. They're all right.
Why? Why
So
don't you
basically, our day started together around 3 o'clock because we wanted to leave around 3:30, no later than 3:30. We drove up from Plymouth, Mass. to Litchfield.
Boy, was
we
that a
got
mistake.
there.
I love that car ride. I know it's
Keep all your entertainment options centered with Xfinity X1. Access live TV, Netflix, and now Hulu and Peacock. Ah, streaming zen. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Xfinity X1 gives you the most complete entertainment experience with everything from live TV to your DVR to on-demand favorites and your streaming apps. Just use your voice remote to easily find what you want to watch. Go online or call 1-800-XFINITY today to learn more. Restrictions apply. Netflix, Hulu, and Peacock memberships required. We all have different tastes in music. Some of us like hip-hop, some of us like vaporwave. So shouldn't we all be able to have different wireless options too? Because while one person might need unlimited, shared data might work better for someone else. And other people could be into having a mix of each, all on one plan. But that's their way, exactly the way they want it. It's your wireless, your rules, only with Xfinity Mobile. Go to XfinityMobile.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Requires post-pay Xfinity Internet.
It was fun. It was good. It was a good car ride. We played the alphabet game several times.
From trying to kill myself.
Andrew discovered the fact that pretty much if you put any adjective in front of the word bird, it actually is a real thing, like umbrella bird, ugly bird, loser bird, whatever the fuck else we were talking about. Because we were playing the alphabet game and somebody decided to do birds as a category, so we
I
did.
did.
That was huge.
For that reason, exactly.
We did candy, birds, and craft beer, and that took us pretty much the entire way up to Litchfield. New
Actually,
Hampshire.
if you put Jamaican in front of any bird, that works.
Jamaican.
Too.
Actually, quick shout out to Backyard Brewery.
That's
That
what I was
place
going to
is
say
pretty
next.
cool.
So we went up and we had dinner and drinks first at Backyard Brewery. What did you guys think of that? Obviously, it's not a
My
Backyard
type of
Brewery
place.
podcast. Like fun, right? It was a good
My
time.
type of place.
Fun.
Yeah.
And it's what, 10 minutes away from 12
It was
minutes?
12 minutes away from Spooky World. It's right there. I would imagine if you're driving up
pretzel
there,
tots?
you want to make a dinner of it. The
Yeah.
pretzel
Baby.
tots are unbelievable.
No one wants to go to Spooky World on an empty stomach.
You want to be bloated and drunk.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
That's why
Which is what we did. Yeah, exactly.
That's why I got prime rib, which was.
That's why I got a
fucking
burger,
2
several
thumbs,
appetizers, and several
way up.
drinks.
I got a prime rib pizza.
Will say, the burger was all right. I'm not going to get into it.
I liked it.
All right.
But the general atmosphere, the pretzel tots,
it's a brew pub.
beer was good.
They brew all their
It was
own beer,
awesome.
but they have a full bar too, so you can get.
I wish
we
I
got
got
shots.
I wish I got the
We got
prime
mixed
rib.
drinks.
If you're going to go there, get the prime rib.
Right?
Yeah.
I got the
That's what
prime
they're
rib.
famous for.
It was
Prime rib.
amazing.
Don't
Get
get a
it?
fucking burger like a loser.
So
Like,
get a
I
big
like
piece of meat.
The variety of the homemade beer, too, because everything around here is just IPA.
Yeah, we got some light stuff. What I got the one the lawnmower.
Have you ever
I got.
had an IPA?
What was the one you got called? The happy pappy. Was that the one you got?
And there was a nice Pilsner. There was a double. There was a nice Imperial Stout.
And we ordered shots of McGillicuddy's. That actually was not McGillicuddy's. It was definitely like mint schnapps.
A lot better than McGillicuddy's.
Which is fine. I'll take it for sure.
You know why Craig likes the name Happy Pappy so much?
Pappy Van Winkle?
Is because when he gets home and he yerks off, he's a happy pappy.
Well, there we go. That totally makes sense.
I don't have kids, so I don't know.
No, I don't know what that means. I thought it might be funny. I went with it.
That's a name.
It's just weird.
Nobody ever forget. We have
Happy Pappy
we can do some editing. It's fine. Which I'll be editing tomorrow morning.
Greg likes it.
But yeah, so we had
He's
dinner.
A happy yappy.
We had dinner and drinks at the Backyard Brewery. Thankfully, Kat was the driver, so Craig, Andrew, and I got pretty nicely sauced over at Backyard Brewery. We had several craft beers, some mixed drinks, some shots. It was fun.
Mostly food because we're fat.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I didn't get sauced. I got constipated.
You know,
That's the word.
I didn't get a cocktail, but instead I made up with it by getting prime rib. So I had myself a huge piece
Cat
of
got
meat.
her meat in. Yeah, her meat.
I didn't get a cock. I got some meat.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
So for people that may be interested in tickets to this event, okay, and just our general experience getting into it, because I feel like it's boring, but this is the thing, okay? So basically, if you want to go to Spooky World nowadays, general admission tickets range between $39.99 and $44.99, depending on what day you purchase the tickets. You can also purchase what they call VIP tickets, or what they called for us, jumbo haunt passes. So normally, those would cost $69.99 per person. Nice.
I also think that if you're going to get into it, you should have a jumbo pass.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you want to go there and you want to make sure you get through everything in one night, this gives you front of the line access, gives you a mask, gives you a T-shirt. So yeah, it works. But honestly, this weekend that we went, it was a buy one get one free for all tickets pass, right? So we got 2 tickets. 2 VIP passes for $69.99.
2 tickets.
Nice.
To Paradise?
To everything. 2 tickets to Paradise. I feel like if I had paid $70 per person and we had done this on a non-buy one, get one weekend, I probably would have been very much more disappointed.
You know what I feel like they haven't done in a while and what they should do? No, you can leave this on. This isn't going to be offensive.
What is going on?
I don't know what she's doing, but if Spooky World's going to advertise... I haven't heard it in like 10, 15 years. I want to hear Sunday at Spooky World.
Yeah, they used to have the
that was the best. Those were so good.
So, for those that may be interested still in the ticket situation for Spooky World, basically, like I said before, you can buy general admission tickets that range from $39.99 to $44.99, depending on what day you buy them. And we got the Jumbo Haunt passes for $69.99 a piece, but they were buy one, get one free, so it was 2 of us for $69.99. Nice. Which got us front of the line access for all attractions. We got a mask, we got a T-shirt out of it, and you can still do that this coming weekend, which is October 2nd and October 3rd. There's another buy one, get one free weekend. And we were there, obviously, on opening weekend, so I think a lot of the things that we're going to talk about, some of the shortcomings, may be a product of the fact that it's opening weekend. This thing may get better as it goes along. I hope so.
I hope so for everyone else going.
Also, if you're interested in this...
So negative.
No,
Kat and I did...
hopeful for other people.
Yeah, I agree.
Just pay attention.
I didn't think it was that
bad.
bad.
No.
No. They
Listen, I feel like... See, here's the trouble.
Yeah, I agree.
Is I feel like this review is going to come off as overly negative from me, but I will say up front, I'm very excited to have experienced this. I'm very excited to have gone through something that kind of makes me feel like we're going back to normal. It's just, for me, it was a very different experience than I've had in the past. And I know you guys were there for your first time, so you don't know the difference, but I just think it was an inferior experience
not as cool.
overall.
I was just
my
I'm
uncle
not saying
didn't
it
love
like
me
that.
enough.
Idiot.
Oh my
You don't know
god!
the
Oh, you losers.
No,
Wow.
Mike and I
Not
went
what I'm
last
saying.
year too, and like
There they go again, bragging
Right?
about
I
going
know.
to Spooky World.
Well, by ourselves, and we just
No,
here to do our thing.
I'll definitely go again next year if you guys want me to.
No, of course. Well, they do buy one get one every year on the first opening weekends.
We did the same thing last
year.
Yeah,
we did.
And
nerds.
We're nerds.
I know.
Yeah, we are.
But no, the jumbo pass was worth it just for
100%. It was 2 free people.
just unlimited putt-putt, unlimited.
Yes, that's one thing I
go-karts,
forgot to mention. So you get unlimited access to everything at Mel's Funway, which includes mini golf, batting cages,
which in itself
go-karts.
$40.
Little did you know that the putt-putt was going to take as long as all the other haunted
We just were
attractions.
a little bit unlucky in that
Honestly,
situation.
Found some idiots.
And while we're on that,
I
because
think
we did
getting
play
waters
putt-putt
afterwards took an additional
longer than
Getting
anything
the
else.
waters took longer than driving up there.
Which I don't blame the girl that was operating the concession stand at the mini golf thing. It wasn't her fault. It was just there were a million people there, and she was there by herself. But honestly, the people in front of us that were just taking selfies the entire time on the mini golf course, I hope that you, if you're listening, I hope you go out to dinner or lunch or breakfast, and one of you goes to salt your food, and the lid is loose, and you get a bunch of salt everywhere. I hope you get that, you fucking losers. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you!
Well, I
Andrew,
feel like it's just a very, non-written rule that for putt-putt, you just keep
going.
hurry
the fuck up.
Especially if there's people
There were
behind you
us
that are,
and
moving.
2 groups
I
behind
will
us waiting
say
on these
that
people.
one of them was wearing a Yankees hat, so
I
it
did
doesn't
see that,
really
too.
surprise me.
Yeah, douchebags.
Saw that
yeah,
too.
of course. But yeah, so in case you're still interested in buying tickets to Nightmare New England, they are doing a Lights Out event on November 7th. So after everything is closed, they're doing a Lights Out thing, which we did one time at Baritone.
We're not going to go back, though.
I do that
No, we're not going to go
every
back.
weekend
We're not
in
going to
my
go back.
basement.
We're not going to do it. We're going to go back.
Yeah, we can just turn the lights off here and see how it goes.
So in terms of getting into the park and the COVID precautions, basically if you buy a ticket, you can only buy a ticket online for this event. And you have to get to the ticket booth, they say, a half hour before your scheduled time. So I'm an idiot, and we actually thought that our time was at 7:15, but it was actually 7:30. So we were going to be about 15 minutes late, and we actually were on time for the 7:30 reservation for the rides.
We did good.
So basically, they usher you, they give you your tickets, your wristbands. They usher you into the park. They make you wear a mask the entire time, and they guide you through roped off areas. So it is very safe for COVID stuff. Like if you're concerned about that, I particularly am not. Some people are. So if you want to go do this, feel safe that they are taking COVID precautions seriously. So we got into line, and the first attraction that you go through is the Haunted Hayride. So we were in line, and we actually, I put out through the Hometown Horror account some Instagram story stuff, but to me, the Hayride has always been the biggest draw of this particular attraction. It's what makes it unique. There's not a lot of them left anywhere else in New England. And it was brought back to Spooky World back in 2015 after they acquired more land behind Mel's Funway. It's over 20 minutes long. It's over a mile. It's over 20 minutes long. It's over a mile long in terms of what you ride through in the woods. And to me, unfortunately, I felt like this was the attraction that was most affected by COVID.
Oh,
it was like as soon as we got on, it was hard not to be disappointed the second we got on the ride. So
can I get a bale of hay to sit on? Can I get something to sit on?
Yeah.
Instead of my hard, bony ass?
That was rough.
Also, the dividers down the middle didn't help. Why not do them as a clear plastic?
I know.
Why does it have to be a white
it was very strange, and I know that they're trying to deal with this as best they can. But just so you know, so each vehicle had a divider running through the middle, and then each half of the vehicle is divided essentially into I think it was cubicles, right? Yeah. So there's 4 on each side, so there's 8 total. So basically, if you're sitting in one, you can't see anything going on the opposite side of the vehicle, right?
You had a 90 degrees of
pretty much
and that was it.
You and I wish I had known it at the time. because I would have switched because you guys hadn't been there before, but you two arguably had the worst seats in the house. Andrew, you had the worst seat in the entire house, where you were in the back corner. You couldn't really see anything unless it was behind you. Like
it was just
I
can't fault it. It felt cool. I knew there was stuff going on behind me. I could hear explosions.
I think we missed
fire.
every single
pyrotechnic thing
was on the other
side.
And just to state, so
on their fat.
For people that might be going, so we were on the left side of the hayride.
Sit to the right. To the right.
Yeah, to the right. It might have been the better section,
but who knows?
Don't really know.
I don't feel like I never felt like I was on a hayride. I felt like I was stuffed in some fucking uncomfortable sedan.
Yeah,
for 4 hours. Yeah, it's basically like being in a sedan.
Yeah,
sitting on the fucking ground. Anyway.
But I mean, the sets were extremely impressive.
It seemed cool when you
They do
looked
a
up.
great job, lots of detail.
There was
fun.
certain aspects though, like each set I was like, oh, it'd be so cool if people were up there doing, but there wasn't. Oh, it'd be so cool if something was over here. It wasn't. Oh, it'd be so cool if this was lit up and people were interacting with the sets, but there wasn't enough people there.
Yeah, you did also say it'd be so cool if someone killed or pretended to kill the person driving the hayride,
yes,
and then you don't actually know.
Right.
If
and then it just
goes
goes
real or what happened
a lot faster than you think.
So that actually was a gag on the original hayride back in Berlin.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was.
See?
Yep.
There we go.
I knew you had an eye for it.
So
Or a
I
beard
feel
for
like it's again. I don't want to blame these people because they obviously have their hands tied behind their back with this
you
event.
only know, like it's
but it's just
because we know from another.
So we went
there,
last
then,
year.
Like,
this is
never
way
been before,
better last year. Yeah.
Right.
Or even like there was one section where it was just all mannequins, and like, but you couldn't tell if it was someone actually dressed up or if it was an actual mannequin. And it turns out they were just all mannequins. I was like, what the fuck?
Well,
like, why not?
One thing I noticed, and I don't know if this was because it was opening weekend or if it was because of COVID budget cuts or whatever, but there were a lot of, I guess,
missed
like figures, animatronics, whatever, that normally would have been working that we rode right past that just sat there.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the scariest thing that the most caught off guard is the car beeping and turning its high on.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and that was it.
Yeah,
but like
pretty much. But yeah, like I said, the sets are very impressive, but there were a lot of scenes, a lot of scares, even pyrotechnics that we missed because we would just happen to be on the wrong side and we were on the left side. It was just...
Actually, the scariest part of the ride was Mike almost got hit in the face by a rogue bridge.
My God. Yeah, I completely fucking forgot about that until you said it. But yeah, they're like, you are, no doubt, you are in the woods when you're riding through this, which is... It's cool because they're like, it's dark out there. Setup. It's fucking, like, they do a good job. And I just...
Honestly, I mean, hopefully...
I was all jacked up. I was ready to be scared.
Hopefully it's not your first time going.
You can't scare me.
But if it just by chance is, then you can only look forward to next year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also, if you just enjoy...
I still had fun.
I went gallivants through the woods.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I have no qualms.
It's much better when you don't have, like, when you're
COVID,
not ushered.
yes.
Well, because even this year you were ushered to, like, the next place. That's not normally the case. Like, usually you get out of a ride.
You hang out.
And you can, like, go in the middle.
Yeah,
and
you don't have to go through any
particular
order. Like, you can...
you don't have to.
Oh,
say,
I
I'm gonna
100% realize that.
that
That makes perfect sense to me. They have to keep you going.
Right, because they want to get you through everything, and then you can get to the concessions.
That was the other thing
or
too.
whatever.
So we blitzed through.
Oh,
right.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It was honestly like, it was the fastest that I'd
blitzkrieg.
ever moved through stuff at that. We were done with everything in an hour.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, it took longer to play putt-putt.
It
Yeah,
did, actually. I think it really did.
So on the hayride, just a couple of quick notes, some positive things. The most impressive sets that I personally remember, there was the barn that you go into that was infested with
awesome.
spiders. Craig, I know you hate spiders. They had a huge spider prop, like animatronic.
the barn, and then
that
there
was
was a
supposed to
spider.
have been moving. It wasn't moving, but
Wasn't it
whatever.
two
It's
different
that
places?
they had 17-year-old pudgy Karen going in a spider outfit. So,
No, it was terrifying. Oh, boo, scary.
There was also a scene that we went through where there were a lot of, like, buildings built on the ground, and then like some tree houses with some drawbridges
that
and
was
stuff.
cool.
That was pretty cool. That was supposed
It
to
was
be
like
like a
Ewok,
cannibal
like an
scene.
Ewok village.
That was just like
Almost,
it's just like when you ride through, it's impressive. You can tell they put a lot of care, a lot of effort into this stuff, but it was just like you couldn't.
I actually-
Then
see-
they went, I only have
Shit.
$9 an hour to pay for the actors.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly.
We're the
Minimum wage.
17-year-olds that
Yeah.
don't give a
The
fuck.
I liked the barn where they were dismembering people.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
That
cool.
was cool.
That was definitely cool. And the only set that I think was almost completely on our side was when we went through that one that was almost like a carnival.
Yes.
And they had like it was like a circus. It was all lit up. It was very cool. That was actually good because we got that on our side. That was good. Yeah, that was cool. I liked that. But
I never
yeah.
felt like I was on a hayride.
I know. I was
felt like I was in
super
some room.
super disappointed in the hayride this year, and it's not Spooky World's
It's not
fault.
their
It's just
fault,
kind
no.
of the way it is.
You know who we can blame for this?
Baker.
Even though it's
Charlie
New Hampshire, Charlie Baker.
Yeah, Charlie Baker
Yeah.
gets.
It was-
blamed
it would
for
always,
everything.
I would always
In
blame
my
Charlie
opinion,
Baker
in
because
my
he can
opinion.
suck a fat penis.
I agree.
Loser.
So after we got off the hayride, we were ushered into the next line, which was for the Colony. So the Colony was the attraction basically where it was a hybrid attraction that not only takes you through the woods that are actually on the banks of the Merrimack River, but there's interior house sets. So you're walking through the woods, then you're walking through a house, then you're walking through the woods, then you're walking through a house, and you loop back into the park. Kind of has the feel of like a backwoods cannibal vibe. I almost would link it to like the New Hampshire Chainsaw Massacre, like Texas
Okay,
Chainsaw
yeah,
Massacre,
yeah.
but a New Hampshire type vibe.
It was
Again,
fun. So you-
sets and the detail were incredible, but there were no scares, and the actors were very spread out.
Yeah,
I thought-
honestly felt the urge to jump in the woods and actually start scaring people.
I know.
So this brings me to my favorite part, because if I'm not mistaken, after the hayride, as you're walking towards the haunted woods,
Yep.
the soothing sounds of DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince start to play
That's correct.
with Night
Yeah,
Air
that was the
on
one.
my street. And
That
Craig
was the
went,
one.
do you think they have this on loop? They definitely had it on loop.
Yeah.
The song's so good. So bad, but it's so good.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, that was definitely like probably the highlight. But I mean, I think this was definitely better than the hayride because you weren't constricted by, barriers and cubicles and boards and plastic sheets and whatever the fuck else.
Yeah, a little room to roam around.
Yeah.
It's a different feel too. It's not.
Yeah, and it was definitely like it was cool walking through, but again, like it's almost like you were walking through the haunted sets, but there weren't many scares. I mean, Catherine, what did you think of this attraction versus the hayride?
I think I kind of liked it better, to be honest. It was more. I feel like it was more interactive. I feel like there was more like you're walking around in an outdoor area where you went into like some weird house or like barn or whatever that weird thing was, and like you experience more than you did because it's more. You're out there and like in the little maze that they set you up in.
I feel like this is the attraction that they fully take advantage of their location in the woods. They use the woods to their advantage here. Like you're walking through the woods, it's very dark.
Right.
I almost wish they made people wait a little extra because you're still kind of close. But if you were out there in your own group,
You also you walked very fast.
no,
When you were the leader of the group.
It was
I
fine.
will
It was
say.
fine.
I did the same thing.
I was trying to run up and scare you guys, so that didn't really work.
Oh,
But-
yeah, you literally tried to do that.
Yes, because I'm a child.
But
But
what happened was
I
you
wish-
ran into somebody
We'll wait to that.
and they
We'll
scared
wait,
you.
We'll wait for that.
Remember?
no,
You were
We'll
like
wait-
rushing
we'll
up
wait-
to
we'll
get up
wait
and
to
some
talk
guy
about
came around the
I
corner
was
and scared you.
I jokingly go,
Oh, well, maybe that was it.
yeah.
Well, honestly, it would have been more effort than any of the actors
Oh,
put
terrible.
into.
They
Honestly, like
smell.
that's my biggest complaint, and I know that. Okay, this is supposed to be something that.
Save time by scheduling your free flu shot at CVS today and get a $5 off $20 shopping pass. Visit cvs.com/flu to get started. No cost flu shots with most insurance. Restrictions apply. Visit cvs.com for details.
That is attractive to families not just to mid-30s horror podcasters like us, okay? I totally get that. But I feel like the attempts to scare were not there.
Yeah.
The actors were not doing anything to try and scare anybody. They were just kind of popping out of their boo holes and, hi, I have a mask on.
There wasn't anyone really walking
Yeah,
around.
I didn't.
Or...
So I feel like more than ever, in a situation like this with COVID, where the capacity is limited, the actors are limited in the number of that you can have in each room, you have to bring it. Like, you have to try and scare people, and they just weren't doing it. Maybe it was because we did it on the second night that it was open. Like, I don't know. But, I don't know. It was lackluster.
Yeah. I feel like if you had a job, I don't care what you're getting paid, if you get to scare people, that's why you're not getting paid more, because you get to scare people. That should be fun.
I've done the job, and it's very fun. It's very fun. I've worked at Barrett's Haunted Mansion, and it's so much fun to scare the shit out of people. And I feel like, I don't know what
Step
the
up
reason
your
was.
game.
Like, they just weren't doing it. Like, I didn't have one actor that was in my face at any point the entire night.
Well, I'm working in a haunted house. You would know what the expectations would be.
I
right?
honestly feel like they have a group meeting and go, listen, you can't get this close to anybody. You can't do this. So I almost give them
It's
the benefit
hard,
of the
yeah.
doubt. Because they're going to be like, hey, here's a 60% effort. Because that's all I'm allowed to give.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Well, I'm sure they have some sort of surgical mask on, plus a regular mask. Like, they're clearly, like, uncomfortable, I would think. How could that be comfortable to have that all night? So, I don't want to fault them too much, but that was just my observation.
Even
the
the girl leading us into the haunted mansion, she's giving her whole spiel, and she's like, and I could barely hear her because she had her mask on, and she was just like, you could tell she didn't want to be there.
I had no idea what she said.
Yeah,
right. I had no idea.
And when honestly, like, and when you are going through something like that, you can tell the actors don't want to be there. They're not having a good time doing it. That takes you away from the experience.
Right.
That's hard,
100%.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
And
so,
I mean, I haven't, this is my first time at Spooky World, but I've been to Barrett's a couple times.
Yeah.
On such a small area. They do so well there.
Mm.
They
Barrett's
do great.
is great.
Shout out to Barrett's.
Yeah.
Barrett's every year, and we'll talk more about this next week because we're going to Barrett's on Saturday, and I know it's not going to be the same as it's going to. It's probably also going to be something that's disappointing, but.
No, don't say. What do you mean disappointing?
Well, we're going there to watch movies, and there's going to be people walking around.
It's going to be a different experience. We're not rating a haunted house.
Correct. I understand.
We're rating a movie, feature movie.
I agree. Yeah, you're right. I know. I just.
Well, Andrew's pretty.
Barrett's does a better job.
Company though, pretty much.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with that.
That's true.
And then I don't know if he's going to bring out his hobo persona.
We haven't gotten into that yet.
Winifred the Pooh.
We haven't talked about him
Wilfred,
yet.
not Winifred.
Wilfred. Sorry.
She's got some dumb broad that's like 90 years old.
The coolest gag that I thought, by the way, in the
Winifred.
colony,
She was a lovely lady.
was the one where you walked through a particular set and the floor was like soft, like you stepped on it and it was like bouncy. Like, okay, that kind of caught me off guard a little bit. But when
the one pillow,
when that's the best thing, it's like, like okay. All right, so from there, we finished going through the colony, and we went to the next haunted house, which is called Brigham Manor. So Brigham Manor is arguably the one that people know the most from Spooky World because it's right in the middle. So like in a normal year, you walk into the park, they have what they call the Monster Midway, which has, fried dough, all kinds of carnival foods, carnival games, there's a gift shop, blah, 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 whatever. And that's the first house that you see, the first line that you see. So it's got a huge, impressive facade. It's more of your traditional haunted house feel. Like you walk in, it feels like a normal, like regular haunted house, not any sort of theming. But this, for me, also had the most creative costuming because we saw... Do you guys remember the guy outside that was in the teddy bear costume that we saw?
Yes.
Rolling around on the ground and doing weird shit. So shout out to that guy or girl because that was fucking awesome.
Did you Snapchat it?
I did actually. So it's on our...
I think he was in character the most out of it.
Yeah,
and we actually saw him in the haunted house. Did you see that?
And he just suddenly moved.
Yeah.
And that was fine. That was almost more creepy.
Yeah, but this is their crown jewel, aside from the hayride, I would think, and it was probably the best overall experience for me because it's kind of short, tight hallways. The sets are very impressive. It looks great from the outside. It looks great on the inside. But again, like same thing. All the actors were sparse, few and far between, and there was nothing really to scare you. Like it was just kind of like a walk-through experience.
Anticipating people. Oh, no one's there.
Yeah,
it was kind of like that.
Andrew, you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I thought they were all really fun. I have no complaints. I know this sounds weird, but I actually enjoyed it. I have I feel like the potential for I've never been there before. It was entertaining. I had fun. I'm not going to get scared, but I feel like they did a good job with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I think for how they had both hands tied behind their back, obviously. For that situation, to be able to pull what they did off, it's pretty good. I have no complaints. Good for them.
Yeah. I also think that it's hard to appreciate each set if you have to run through it without a break, the way that they did with the COVID guidelines. You know, like you said, and years prior, you can go, play whatever or walk around and stuff, and then go appreciate a set. Where this year we had to go through all four of them at once.
In order.
It was all roped off. It was like herding cattle.
Basically. And actually, so there's another attraction. They normally have 5 attractions. This one was actually closed this year. I'm sure because it's much more close knit, not safe for COVID guidelines.
And there's actually 6 because I was attracted to you.
Oh wow! Craig, the feeling is mutual, my friend. The feeling is mutual. But so after we moved on from Brigham Manor, we moved on to our final haunted attraction of the night, which was called 3D Dreamscape. So basically, this is your traditional 3D haunted house. They provide you with glasses, which it was funny to see Kat and Andrew both try and put those on over because they're both blind.
Why don't you make them bigger? Why don't you fuck off with your 3D glasses? I have.
So you go through, it's all painted up neon. There's some big Alice in Wonderland vibes because they can do that because Alice in Wonderland is in the popular domain.
They didn't have any Alice in Wonderland things in there.
Yeah, they did. They had some caterpillar stuff. And,
I missed that.
But I would say this is definitely the most tame of all the attractions, right? If you're going there visual. With kids, like this is the attraction you could bring kids through, no problem.
But unfortunately, you don't get that choice if you have kids.
Agree. Now if you have kids, you have to have. But I mean, there were kids behind us in the hayride, like that were behind us pretty much the entire time. They're probably like 13, 14, whatever,
that's fine.
And they were hanging out, having a good time. But like I'm saying like little kids, you could bring through this.
Well, if you're bringing your little kid to Spooky World. Maybe you need to check your fucking problems.
Well, they're doing what my uncle did with me back in the day.
How old were you?
Probably 7 or 8.
Yeah, I would do the same thing with my niece. I mean, I made my niece watch Sinister when she was like 8. So
wow.
I can't be too.
I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't make her do anything. Actually,
but
you
I said we should watch this, and she went, "Okay."
Perfect. So with this haunted house, I would say this was arguably the most well designed of the entire night. The artwork was incredible. Even though it's not scary, again, because there's no scare actors, there's no scares. But my favorite personal scenes were the alien abduction room with the cows and the cornfield. That was great. There was a little bridge that walks over like the water, like either the ocean or a lake or whatever. That was pretty cool. And the final room, which was a haunted bar or club, complete with dancing monsters in full makeup. But they're not trying to scare you. They're just trying to dance with you. They're trying to interact with you. So again, not scary. Actors spread very thin. No scares, but pretty cool. A cool way to end the night, I would say.
It was, that's I like that house because I like the illustration in there is amazing. Like,
for you and art, like I could
cool.
see that.
I take my glasses off every now and then, and I'm like, wow, these people are true.
So you see the light at the end of the tunnel. You see, all right, it's going out. I'm walking. I'm at the end, and then there's this dark tunnel to your right. And nothing came out of it.
Right.
Like, well, I have to say, so was it this one or the Colony where there was a tunnel you walk through where there's supposed to be a spinning thing, but there was nothing in there, so you're literally just walking through a tunnel that's all black. That might have been the Colony. It might not have been this one, but there was one in this one too. So that one was spinning and actually working, and that's a traditional thing in haunted houses.
Both of them I was very dizzy. Whatever they were. I hate those things.
I was more dizzy in the 3D, putting my 3D glasses on.
Yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, that was the last haunted house that we went through that night, and after we finished, we got out. We were all incredibly thirsty and tired of wearing our masks. We played 18 holes of mini golf with a couple of assholes in front of us, and it took us longer to walk through.
Time.
Honestly, so we walked through the haunted attractions, all 4 of them. Our time was 7:30. We were done by about 8:20 or so.
Then we played putt-putt, and
then we played putt-putt. Got water after that, which I waited longer for water than I did for any of the attractions.
If you don't know Mike, he has a volatile Irish
very,
temper. And,
very short
trying
patience.
to see him not flip out at this 17-year-old girl who
it wasn't her fault.
It wasn't to be honest, it was 100% her fault. You were standing there before the other idiots came in line to play putt-putt.
That's
so
correct.
sell me the goddamn waters.
I'm sure her manager probably told her the first and foremost thing is to get people that want to play putt-putt in.
How much did you pay for putt-putt?
I paid nothing.
Yes.
Because I paid,
so if I was the manager, I'd be like, whoever's actually giving you a fucking
whoever
dollar
paid for
bill,
a jumbo haunt pass and is finishing
But we would
putt-putt.
also be paying for water.
Yeah.
So, and that's a fact.
Yeah, $2 for water
I mean,
and $2 for a Mountain Dew, which I
That's
bought for you,
cheap.
Andrew.
That's
Yeah,
what
not-
it costs
not terrible.
everywhere.
Not terrible. But yeah, so we played putt-putt, and after that we got some gas and screwed back to Massachusetts. But yeah, that's pretty much how our experience went at Spooky World, and I think just for me, overall, and I hate to be a Debbie Downer here because I love this place, and I think for me to say this is kind of telling, but overall I was disappointed. I mean, I know it could be tied to my nostalgic feelings for this place because I've been going here for so long, but I knew COVID would have an effect. I don't place the blame on anybody that works at Nightmare New England or Spooky World, whatever they want to call themselves now because it's a confusing title. But it did have a huge effect. You know, like, honestly, I feel like if I had paid full price for that jumbo haunt ticket,
I would have been pissed.
$70 a person, so $140 for 2 people.
Yeah.
Like if Kat and I had went, I would have been fucking bullshit. I would have been pissed. We wouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
So obviously this year is, you know, it's a little bit handicapped. It's a little bit different than other years, but I at least have to give them credit that they're open. They're doing it. They want to try and scare people, even though they didn't really do a good job of that, scaring people.
Oh, I think I get scared sometimes. I mean, I would say I get scared.
I don't know. Like I know it's a difficult year. I know there was probably some things that didn't work for them. I know they probably are on a limited budget, and the actors are a little bit. But I don't know. Overall, like I said, having gone to this event multiple times, I was disappointed. My personal opinion. Obviously, for you guys, I'd want to hear what you think going for the first time.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you could see what was lacking, and it's hard not to blame it on the global pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only positive you can say is that it has huge potential, so go back next year. If you don't want to risk it.
I'd recommend waiting until next year.
If it's your first time, don't go.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to take the kids up there because it's your tradition, you can still have fun doing it.
Sure.
But just expect things to be different because everything else this year is different. So.
Of course. Andrew, as a first-timer, your thoughts?
I think I made it pretty clear. I had a blast. I mean, I know it wasn't all it was supposed to be, and I don't really get scared by anything, but general experience.
I'm very happy to hear that both you guys had a good time because I was worried that when we walked out of all the attractions that you guys were going to look at me and be like, dude, what the fuck?
Well, first
were
off,
you hyping up this
I
entire
went into
time?
this and I went, it's not going to be scary. I was just looking for, like, I don't know, it's something different to do. I don't do that all the time.
A live horror movie
guy
experience.
Like me, you
No,
don't
it's
get
not.
scared,
No, it's.
so.
I'm a 34-year-old man. If I get scared by some guy with a leaf blower pretending it's a chainsaw, then there's a problem with me.
I don't know.
I had fun.
I
thought it was a blast.
I'm glad you
I
both
would
had
do it
fun.
again. Hour and 20 minutes, little far. I didn't have to drive. If I had to drive, would I go? Would I?
No.
No.
Catherine, as a fellow veteran of the event, what did you think of this year as opposed to past years?
I agree with you in some sense. I was a little bit disappointed, but I hate to say that because I know that
I do too because I love these guys. I want to see them do well.
It's
just I'm being honest.
It's because of COVID that certain restrictions are in place and stuff, and I think maybe I don't know though necessarily New Hampshire their laws versus our laws, so I don't know if it could have been better or not. I don't know, but I think it was fun to do something seasonal around September for Halloween and whatever. So I think that it was definitely not a waste of a trip for us to go.
Yeah.
I thought that it was something different than just hanging around Plymouth for another friggin' weekend.
Jesus, I still feel
what
what
do we do?
They missed an opportunity.
I agree.
It was more fun than drinking.
Exactly.
Let's go
and
get
just
fucked
hanging
up
out in the
at the
basement
bar.
again.
Yeah.
Was it though?
It was. Yes. I thought it was something different to do. I enjoyed it.
Giant bag of
Sometimes
jerky in Nick's car.
That's
I'm
correct.
kinda
It's
mad.
still there and it stinks.
If we weren't an hour and 20 minutes away, would I have wanted to go to the batting cages? 100%. I was kind of because I was like, oh, we gotta go.
You really wanted to do this batting cages?
Yeah, I wanted to.
You should have said something.
If we were closer, I would have done it with you. Honestly, at that point, I was done. I wanted to go home.
It was 9:40.
Mike
Clearly, I'm not ready to leave anywhere at 9:40. But when you have to
whole
drive
water.
all the way back.
To put a bow on this, I'm with my co-host here. I would recommend, if you've never been to Spooky World before, I would recommend waiting until next year because this, like everything else in this disgusting, terrible year, has been tainted.
It's 2020 and life's fucking terrible.
I'm sorry. I wish I had something better to say. I really do. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Will there be one shining moment for 2020?
No.
Or is it all just a big
it's
bag
the
of
new
dick?
Deftones album. That is a shining moment for 2020. It's fucking phenomenal. It's great. I know not too many people will care about that, but I care about it. It's great.
Does it make you hard?
It does. I'm a wreck
Good to know,
right now.
because that must be a
talking
good,
about
good album.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Do
wrap
people
it
still
up.
call them albums?
Wrap it
But
up,
hey,
wrap it up.
so next week on our show, we will have our review of Barrett's Haunted Mansion presents Screens and Screams.
What is that?
We
For
will
people that
be,
don't know.
so basically, if you're not familiar with that, we will be going to Barrett's Haunted Mansion at the Abington Ale House, and they're doing double features of horror movies. So we are seeing It and Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and they are supposed to be having actors dressed like characters from the movies walking around to scare the shit out of you.
What version of
We will
It,
be
do you
in
know?
the bed of Andrew's
The
pickup
movie.
truck.
The new one.
Yeah.
Not the old one.
That's not a
The new
movie.
one.
That's a series.
No,
TV.
it's a movie.
TV
Andrew.
miniseries.
It's like
It's a
12
movie.
fucking hours. That's not a
Andrew,
movie.
I have it on DVD. It's a fucking.
And how long does it take to watch that? 4 days?
It's not a
Oh,
movie.
do you want to borrow it? Do you
not
want
a
to find
movie.
out how long?
No, I don't want to borrow that terrible movie.
Uh.
Tim Curry's the only shining moment in that. Other
Correct.
than
He's
that, that movie
amazing.
I
sucks.
agree
He's the main
100%.
That is
character.
the most garbage. It's almost
guarantee
as
you-
bad as The Stain.
That's not even.
Garbage.
It does
Oh,
not.
yeah,
It does
see?
not hold up as
Garbage.
well as Tim
Garbage.
Curry's performance in it holds up. I guarantee you. Sorry again.
Let's just not talk about it right now.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up here. It's been another episode of
It's-
America's Hometown Horror.
We
You
should come. We
guys.
got as many people that can fit in. That's
You
actually
can fit in the
rules.
trunk. You can fit in our trunk.
So this has been another episode of America's Hometown Horror. You guys, my name is Mike. I'm joined by my fellow co-host Andrew, Kat, and Craig.
Yeah,
Thank
whatever.
you all for tuning in. Thank you all for coming so much. I love you all.
Goodbye, I say.
If I didn't come, I wouldn't be good for anything.
Here's where you can find our show on social media, okay? You can go on Facebook and search for America's Hometown Horror. You can also go on Twitter and search for @Hometown Horror. On Instagram, you can search for @Hometown Horror Pod. And you can also email us at hometownhorrorpodcast@gmail.com. And you can also subscribe to our show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, which is a new one. We just got on there.
Wow.
Amazon Music just launched their podcast network. We are on there.
That's kind of awesome.
Pretty cool. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, and wherever the motherfuck else you get your podcasts. My name is Mike again. Thanks again for tuning in. say goodbye to your listeners, folks.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye.
I'm just gonna say I won't be fooled again. Again and again. If you say again, I'm gonna say again.
Shut up.
Thanks for listening, and if you're looking for other podcasts to listen to, you can check out the other podcasts on the Inebriart Podcast Network. We have Retro Redoctopus, we have America's Hometown Horror, Bar Talk, Old Colony Cast, and of course Inebriart. So you can check those out wherever podcasts are found. Like, comment, and subscribe so we can reach more listeners, and thanks for listening.
Comcast Business gives you fast gig-speed internet. And now, ask how to get fast shipping with Amazon Business Prime Essentials, so you'll always be ready to bounce forward. Comcast Business. Offer ends 11/15/20. Restrictions apply. Requires qualifying Comcast Business service. New Amazon Business Prime Essential members only.
Having trouble starting your trimmer, chainsaw, or leaf blower? Say goodbye to those starting problems and improve your equipment's performance with True Fuel, the original ready-to-use fuel, available in 32 or 110-ounce cans. True Fuel is the ethanol-free, precision-engineered fuel that empowers your equipment to start strong and run great every time. Power through yard work with True Fuel, available at your local home and garden center today.